the most revolutionary product ever, the most innovative anime product of the year is not an anime figure. And since this is a short episode, let's discuss about that later on. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 11th to 16th of August 2025. And this is one peculiar week, one really weird week, where between Monday to Friday, there was exactly one new figure on pre-order, which is a regular release, one single pop-up rate. Meanwhile, on Ami, there was another 2 exclusives. And then early Saturday, another new figure dropped out of nowhere, and then since there were so few figures, I had to redo the filming of today's episode, at least for the hobby link section, which was pretty annoying, but this is a short episode, so I could get things out on time. Meanwhile, on the third parties, there is a moderate amount of figures, not too many either, but this is a good week for third parties. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for the genuine figure section. And what you are seeing on screen, this is all we have this week on HLJ. Starting off with the first one over here, this Kagekidan cosplay girl over here. This went on pre-order last week, not exactly a new figure, so I won't be repeating myself. By a Chinese brand called BR Honey, 12,000 yen December release. And it is apparently 18 plus, but there are no pictures of the figure being customable, like no Hadaka pictures of her. So if you want it, I would say that approach it with a low expectation, and in case you end up having something that is actually customable, then good for you. Yeah, fabric outfit once again, and you can see the pink dot in the close-up pictures. Alright, moving on to the new stuff this week. This is the main highlight for skill figures, one of them at least. Coming from Girls Frontline 2 Niketa Dance Like the Blading Sun limited edition with bonuses. You know, I saw the word Nikkei over there. I thought it was another Nikkei figure, and then I had to read the title once more. Okay, Niketa, that's her name. So this is the limited edition with bonuses at 21,500 yen, and there is a regular version going for 19,500 yen. And I like the character design a lot on this one, see? Yes, cheerleading is not anything new, but look at the outfit from behind. It is almost like, yeah, a string bikini outfit. And who wears like that when they are on a cheerleading trip? So yes, fan service, and I really welcome it. This is actually a great figure to get. And since when did Hobby Sakura started making girls frontline figures? I don't really recall any. I could be wrong, but I don't recall any. Yeah, they have been going all out with Nikkei and also some original characters, but girls frontline is random. If you love her, by all means, go ahead. I actually like their scale figures a lot for Hobby Sakura. Yeah, and this is a good price for a figure like this one over here. Now, moving on to the last one on HLJ this week. Pop-up rate SP Rin from Porter Robinson. I have no idea what is that. And this being a special edition, special version of pop-up rate, it is not exactly cheap. 6,800 yen January release. So you are actually paying for the base over there. Yeah, interesting grass base, though that is also very cheap material. If you buy them in, I don't know, like gardening supply store and then make your own base, that is actually cheap material. Yeah, a normal pop rate is around 5,000 yen plus today. This is almost another 1,800 yen. And I hope that the figure turns out good, because that single base alone does not justify the 1,800 yen increment. Yeah. Fortunately, the figure design, the character design is not exactly the very intricate type. No fine details. So I think this figure should turn out fine. Yeah. Now we move on to Ami for figures on pre-order this week. Exclusive stuff, of course. So this is by Aniplex, My Dress Up Darling Marin Kitagawa Halloween Bunny version. Yeah, the one we saw in, was it the second or the third episode of season 2? So this is only 4,800 yen, low budget figure, releasing in February next year. And the height of this figure at this price point is actually 23.5 centimeters, including bunny ears, 21.5 head height. So this is roughly 1/8 scale, which is not a bad size at all. This is actually a better purchase than any pop-up parade. Pop-up parades are small, they are tiny, they're 5,000 yen. This is also almost 5,000 yen but bigger. Yes. So highly recommended because Aniplex, they actually make great figures in general. Has always been the case for the past 5-7 years. I actually bought quite a number of the FGO scales. They are good. So go for it if you like this Marine Kitagawa, and I do think it is just a matter of time before price figure brands like Furio and Taito would make a price figure of this Marine at an even lower price, like 2,500 or 3,000 yen for a Taito AMP Plus, for example. It might happen in future. But this is Aniplex we're talking about. The quality is likely to be higher than any price figure brand, so go for it. Yeah. Moving up next, this is the most expensive scale figure this week. It is an Ami exclusive at the moment. I would imagine that HLJ will release the regular version on pre-order next week in their website. So this Ami exclusive version of New Dimension game Neptunia 7 Next Green comes with an A2 wall scroll and also an extra faceplate. The one you're seeing on screen, that is the extra faceplate. All of it for 55,000 yen, which is very expensive, I know, but Vertex is one of the top tier brands. I actually regard them to be at the same level as Alter, in case you guys are unaware. Their Elf Village series figures are amazing, yeah. So this is the extra faceplate you're getting, and if you bought the regular version of this figure, so there is no wall scroll, and the faceplate you're getting is actually this one, where her mouth is open, she is screaming out her ultimate move. And in my opinion, if you want to save like 5,000 yen and go for the regular version, I would say it is a good idea in this specific case because the default faceplate, the regular version faceplate is the better one. Yes. And the regular version is going for 47,000 yen. That is a great price. That is a big discount down from 55k, a big difference over there. So I tend to recommend people to go for the deluxe version, the limited edition, the more expensive version of anime figures. But sometimes you need to look at things from a case-by-case basis. I think for this next green figure over here, yeah, the regular version is not a bad purchase at all. You're not missing out on much, I would say. And yeah, the detailed shots on this figure, man. This is my kind of figure. Details, science fiction, huge weapons, man. Just that I don't collect Hyperdimension Neptune figures anymore. I have a pair of Purple Heart and Black Heart figures per Alter, but that is it. No more. And that Purple Heart figure is broken. I broke it by accident, so I'm a bit sad about that. Nowadays, if you want Hyperdimension Neptune figures, as you can see from this picture, check out the ones by Vertex. It is going to cost you a lot. Yeah, imagine 50,000 yen each for all of these over here. Wow. Right, so moving on to the main highlight this week. This is the most innovative, the most revolutionary Gunner pillows I've ever seen. Basically, this is a pillow version of Oppai mousepad or Oshiri mousepad, right? But it is such a shame that I couldn't put the pictures of this pillow on the thumbnail of today's video because I'm sure YouTube does not like that. And the bad news over here is that this pillow over here from Brown Dust to Wilhelmina is an exclusive, Ami exclusive, because it is made by Hobby Japan, Amakuni. 16,500 yen, but that is not the amount you will be paying for. You will actually be paying almost 50,000 yen for this pillow because you need 3 of them. The first one is to be used to support your head from behind like a proper pillow. The second one is for your face itself. That is for de-stressing after a very tiring and stressful day at work. And the third one is for practicing paizuri in case you want to prepare for the future where you'll find an actual girlfriend and wife. Then you need to practice beforehand. Yeah. This is why you need 3 of them, because the paizuri one, the third one, could end up getting stained. Please don't do that to your pillows. This is expensive. You know what? When I saw this pillow, I actually wanted it badly, just because it is so unique. Right? And What is up with Brown Dust 2? I mean, the anime figures that has been announced from this game, they are very cultured. And now they are wasting no time getting the pillows out, getting the merchandise out like this. For those of you banned from Army because you cancel your pre-orders too much, let's hope that Nin Game will carry this pillow. Let's hope. I don't know if they will have it, right? Because this is an exclusive. So yeah, you couldn't get this on many other websites. And there is a second pillow over here. Also an Opie pillow, but vertical one. This one, I don't like it that much. The character design and everything. I prefer Wilhelmina earlier. If I were to pre-order one of these pillows, I would be content with the Wilhelmina version earlier. I wouldn't touch this one. But that is purely personal preference. In fact, Wilhelmina earlier is the best selling #1 pre-order item on Army this week. So that is all for the Army section. No new figures in the major content section as well. And so far, if you find this video to be informative or entertaining, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Now, our last stop for genuine figures is on Nin Game, one single figure by Biful inside of Fort Japan. This is illustrator figure Nao-chan, a beginner cross-dressing boy. Illustrated by Morino Bambi. Yeah, a trap. So 24,000 yen at 1/5 scale by inside. You get one big cannon down there. No worries about that part. And he is coming out in April next year. So that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. And one Gunner pillow. Two Gunner pillows. So that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. And a pair of Gunner pillows. Now we move on to third-party resin figures, pre-painted figures on OshGK, which is also this channel's partner, but for the third-party figure section. So starting off with Anya, we only have one this week, cosplaying as Dark Magician. This is version 2.0 apparently, so this figure came out before by ZH Studio, which I regard to be the best third-party resin figure brand. If you want all these crossover Anya figures, ZH Studio is the best one so far. $126, and you get to choose between pink color hair as the one you're seeing on screen, and then there is a black color hair version and white hair version. Oh, Iron Man colors. I prefer the pink one, I suppose. I think the purple and the pink, they go together really great, right? I prefer this color over here. No release date yet. Moving on to the next one here, chibi figure by 97 Studio. We have, Nezuko, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu. A set of 3 for $130 because it is a small figure. No release date yet as well. And by the way, I have already watched the new Demon Slayer movie on IMAX. Yes, it was great, except I think the title of the movie was a bit misleading. Infinity Castle, more like Infinity Flashbacks. Like for every single character that is about to win or lose or die, there will be lots of flashback about the past lives. Yeah, and it got a bit annoying to be honest, but that was what the manga is like. And that is all I'm going to tell you. No spoilers, of course. I won't give you guys any spoilers. But go and watch it. Yes. Support Ufotable, the best animation studio from Japan. Moving on to the next one here. This is interesting. Like, I love this crossover. We have Hatsune Miku, Project Sekai Miku, cosplaying as Zegok, Commander type. Not the Gundam Seed type, really? So this mobile suit or mecha called Zegok is kind of a meme in the world of Gundam, especially since Gundam Seed Freedom movie came out. Yeah, and you kind of need to watch the movie to understand why the meme is like that. So now we have this crossover with Hatsune Miku at only $65, not a big figure, but the height is around, 10 centimeters tall, roughly the size of Nendoroid, actually a bit smaller because Nendoroids are 10 centimeters, not including the base. This is 10 cm including the base. I wish that it is the same size as Nendo's so that I can display them next to each other and they match in size, but yeah, this is still a very adorable figure to get. Moving on to the next figure over here, now we go into anime characters territory. Just now it was chibi figures territory of some sort. So the first figure in the anime section here, Yopi Yen Studio Detective Conan Showering Eye Haibara. $212 for the whole thing at 1/6 scale, including that, that diorama, which is nice. Releasing in June next year. This is possibly the first cultured Detective Conan figure I've seen. I don't think I've seen any Hadaka Conan figures before. This has to be the very first. And yeah, the character design is kinda lolly in a way. I mean, that is how the characters look from this series. So, damn. A good purchase really for any Conan fans, as long you have no problems collecting such stuff. Moving on to the next one here, anime characters. We have Reborn Studio, Spirited Away Chihiro, Don't Lose Yourself. What? Okay, $186, no release date yet. Oh, okay. This is like a 3D photo frame, right? Yeah, 3D photo frame, kinda interesting. I had a good laugh when, was it Miatos? Miatos announced a 3D photo frame of a Honkai style character. What was her name again? It was hilarious because people were waiting for a scaled figure of her, but then as it turns out, it was a 3D photo frame. So stuff like Spirited Away, yes, you can only rely on third parties nowadays. Genuine figure brands wouldn't touch them. Moving on to the next one, we have two figures from One Piece. The first one is Shirahoshi by MDS Studio, kind of a chibi figure in some way. So the most expensive version with emo, which I assume is, what's that? $118, and without emo, $97. I have no idea what is emo. This picture over here. Yeah, because I don't watch One Piece. Shirahoshi, I would get a proper like scaled figure of her, 1/6 or whatever by a third party, because you get a better look at her oppai. And the second one here from One Piece, Nami by BQ Studio, $89 only because it is a very simple figure. There is an S Plus version and also an S version, slightly cheaper, like $6 of difference. I wouldn't even bother to check what is the difference, just get the more expensive one. This is one of those typical scenes you see in anime where when the girls to go to the bathroom and take a bath, they never lock the door. And what you're seeing on the screen almost always happens with the protagonist character. It never happens to me, however. This figure does not have a release date yet so far, but for the face of the figure, I think it looks fine. Looks like Nami. The hair is a bit different, of course, because I'm going to assume that it is wet, so the hair is like, it is not that puffy, it is down a bit. So this is for those of you who want a Hadaka figure of Nami. Moving on to the next one here from Execution Studio, we have Dandadan Protagonist Duo Set. Takakura Ken and Momo Ayase for $312 at 1/6 scale, releasing in this December. This is actually a good purchase, roughly $155 each. Because we don't get many figures from Dandadan, even from genuine brands. There are like 2 or 3 scales of this girl over here, what's her name again? Yeah, Momo Ayase, but otherwise not much choices out there. And definitely not at 1/6 scale. So this could potentially be a good purchase for fans of Dandadan. Moving on to the next one here from Your Name, we have Taki Tachibana and Mitsuha Miyamizu as a set. Yeah, based on the movie poster artwork by Cake Studio. There's a red rope version and a star version. What do they mean? Oh, okay. This is the red rope version. Oh, it is a bit different, I see. And the star version, I suppose that they mean the official artwork. Yeah, this one. Actually, if you already have the pop-up rates, I think, yeah, pop-up rates of this pair of figures, which is based on this artwork over here, then you get the third parties to go for this one, which is a bit different. I think it looks very artistic, very photogenic as well. Yeah, this version over here, I like it quite a lot actually. So personally, I would lean towards this one a little bit more, just because it is something different. Yeah. Should you get both? Depends on how big of a fan you are, I guess. $328 each pair. So if you get both, you're paying like $656, which is a lot. Moving on to the next one, we have two figures of Fern from Frieren. The first one is the more cultured one by Morgul Studio, where she appears to have spilled some cake on her opai. Maybe that is just cream from some cake and not a result of 10 minutes of Paizuri, I'm not sure. Paizuri has to be the main theme of today's video or this week's news. $160 at 1/6 scale March 2026 release. The problem I have with this figure is very simple. I think the face feels like I'm looking at some random original character rather than Fern. I'm not sure if this is what she looks like in a light novel or manga or wherever. Yeah, so no Frieren originated from, because the face is not very much like what I know from the anime. Yeah, the eyes are different as well. So if you tell me this is based on a different artwork, different art style, yeah, different art style, sure. Every artist have their own style. Or maybe it is based on manga art, whatever it is. But for a person like me who has only watched the anime adaptation and nothing else, yeah, this does not feel like Fern that much, even though there is some resemblance over there. The next one here, Hera Studio is back. They actually had a 1/4 scale Frieren on pre-order not too long ago, so they are now following it up with Fern over here. $293 at 1/4 scale December 2025 release. They need to stop putting figures in December. But otherwise, this is the Fern 1/4 scale figure to go for. And you look at how realistic the stuff she's holding. Yeah, it looks like a proper tree branch in a way. I love it. This is not the most detailed 1/4 scale, but at under $300, perfectly acceptable. And there are no 1/4 scale figures of this character out there, not even a bunny version by Frieren. So once again, Hera Studio really delivers over here. I've discussed about this brand in detail in my most recent episode of which third-party resin figure brand is good. Yeah, I've made a video on that. I went through like 3 figures of theirs in 1/4 scale. They're all excellent. So this is a brand that you can actually go for. Moving up to the next one, we also have one of the main highlights this week together with Fern earlier. This is by DT Studio, Ayanami Rei with motorcycle at 1/4 scale. So this is very expensive at $754. The one you're seeing on screen is the purple version, and there will be a white plug suit version. Okay, so I've mentioned so many times that I'm not a fan of realistic faces, but this thing is beautiful. If I have $900 to burn, including shipping cost of course, and it wouldn't be too expensive to ship this from China to my country compared to the likes of US. So I would say $900 in my case over here. Yes, this is beautiful. Like, realistic face, sure, I still want it if money was no object. And DT Studio and Ume Studio sometimes one of the best third-party figure brands out there for 1/4 scales, full stop. Yes, one of the best. I would assume that Asuka is coming up next, maybe in a week or 2. Yeah, so far no signs of Asuka yet. Bro, that bike is so over the top. Probably no understatement to say that this is the best 1/4 scale Ayanami Rei figure, as long as you don't mind that realistic face there, of course. Oh, you're getting an anime face? Brilliant. Okay. Best 1/4 scale of Rei of all time. Thank you, DT Studio. Thanks a lot for including the anime version face, but if you tell me to display her in realistic face, I'm okay with that. Like, I would swap the head out every 2 weeks or so, or every month. Right, probably the best third-party figure this week, this one. Moving on to the next one, from Yuzai Renshing Studio, we have Android 18 from Dragon Ball, 1/3 scale, $441. Yeah, I'm just showing you guys a closer look of her face. I'm not scrolling because they have pictures of her without any clothes on. So this studio is back with their mass-produced 1/3 scale dolls. They are probably using the same exact metal frame underneath, and then they just customize the outer body, the silicone body, and put on a different head, and you have a new figure. So their business model is extremely efficient. They can come up with a new 1/3 scale figure every 2 weeks and then release them within 3 months. Yeah, this one is coming out in October, by the way. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, this is an original character from ACY Studio licensed figure brand. Yeah, if we look at licensed figure brands, then ACY Studio is excellent. This is original Diao-chan. Why does it sound like the word Diao in Cantonese? It means F, yeah, F-U, that 4-letter F word. Diao-chan. $512 at 1/4 scale, December release as well. Original characters, you know. Looks great, and that is a lot of stuff for a licensed figure at $500. A lot of stuff, yes. Is it safe to scroll through the pictures? That's the thing. There's nothing quite wrong with the figure, but you know, that's the thing. The figure is perfectly safe, but sometimes I have to think twice whether to scroll or not because YouTube has a problem with it. They're AI at least, not the human moderators. Moving on to the next one, now we enter game characters section. So the first one here by Koholin Studio, we have a life-sized 1/1 scale Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah, $1,400 maximum with DLC. What do they mean by DLC? You can undress the doll anyway, or the statue. So heating function, suction function. You know what this doll is for. I don't have to elaborate at all. And then, DLC 1, single clamping function. DLC 2, AI dialogue, voice recording, vibration clamping function, and lower body heating. Wow. A proper waifu replacement in a way. What do you think about her face? Does it look like Eve? I think this would be a lot better if we actually get her game outfit. Yeah, that green color bodysuit. But yeah, undressing it would be a big pain in the butt for sure. It is a tight bodysuit after all. Maybe it is not possible. I don't know. Moving on to the next one from COD Studio, we have Xenoblade Chronicles Lightweight Mech Model 3 Pneuma. Oh yes, COD Studio just placed 2 figures on pre-order from the previous 2 weeks, I think. Pyra and Mitra, right? So this is their follow-up Pneuma. Standard version 1/6 scale, $249. Deluxe edition, $400. Oh, deluxe edition, $400. Almost double in price. Are we getting a Hadaka version? Okay, deluxe version is available in 1/6 scale only. And if you buy standard version 1/4 available, no, this is not about Hadaka. It has to be some complex prop or background for the figure. Yes. This is the deluxe version. So they are not making this in 1/4 maybe because the thing is way too huge, right? In this case, I would take 1/6 DX version instead of a simple standard 1/4. I value details more than size, right? And this Pneuma figure looks a lot better than Mitra and Pyra from the previous 2 weeks ago. Yeah, this one looks a lot better. They need to fix Mitra and Pyra's face. Reminds me of that Neptune figure earlier, that Next Green by Vertex. Quite similar in a way. Moving on to the next one. So we have 3 figures from Honkai, 1 from Honkai Impacted and 2 from Honkai Star Rail. So the first one here from Honkai Impacted, is it Seal Studio or SLL Studio? Herrscher of the Void. Alright. $231 at 1/6 scale, no release date yet. They photoshopped her eyes to make it glow, but it isn't glowing in the actual figure, of course. I like how they make the figure seem like it is floating in mid-air. Very creative. Yeah, the two dress straps over there is connected to the base. That's how they do it. But my concern would be for a figure like this, I call it a levitation pose, right? Floating pose, levitation pose. If this figure is displayed in somewhere really hot and humid, like my country's climate, for example, then will the figure start sinking down? Will it start leaning in a way? over time, because you know the material resin is also prone to heat distortion when the weather gets too hot. So that is my main concern over here. It looks nice on paper. It looks nice as a concept, but as a resin figure, resin is not that different from PVC in terms of heat tolerance. It can soften at higher temperatures. So I'm not sure about this one, to be honest. Yeah. Of course, I would still go for the scale figures by Alter or Apex first before I would even consider this one, if those two are in stock anywhere. Moving up next, we have a figure of Firefly from Honkai Star Rail. Actually, two figures of her that are exactly the same but done by different companies. Maybe they saw this new artwork from MiHoYo and then they wanted to make a figure of it, and then it happens that two different companies have the same idea of copying the same artwork. That is most likely what happens over here. This New Age Studio version is available at $188 at 1/6 scale. And this is actually an update from last week. Last week, we also had a new Firefly swimsuit figure. Was it this one or a different one? I can't remember. Anyways, this is $169 and then you can get both for $295. But if you were to ask me, I wouldn't bother with that. I'll get this school uniform version because it looks a lot more detailed. Yeah, that is just a bikini, nothing special. And then there is a second version over here. Same character, same design, but $231 more expensive by Star Origin Studio. No release date yet. So which one do you think looks better? This one has a better base, to be fair to them. Yeah, a bigger and more detailed base. Let me go back and compare, shall we? The things that comparing it this way is not exactly not exactly accurate, because who knows what the actual figure is like after it comes out. So between the two, I've noted that I prefer the face of the New Age version. Yeah, the cheaper one over here. I think it has to do with the eyes, right? The eyes over here, the face overall is more accurate to the actual character we see in the official character art. This one, it is different. Like, it looks like Firefly, still looks like her, but it looks a bit different at the same time, different art style in a way. And the base is quite a lot better, yes, compared to this one over here. But if I look at the figure alone, I think I prefer this one more. Yeah. This figure combined with this base would be perfect. But you can't have both unless you pre-order both. Yeah, this is $231, no release date yet. Moving up next, we have a couple of Blue Archive figures. The first one is by Elino Studio. Blue Archive Dress Hina Surasaki 1/6 scale, $212, December release. Why does the good stuff always end up in December? I have no idea. This has to be the same dress that Good Smile made a scale figure of at a lower price, but that was also a simpler figure. This is like a more complex figure with a background that I'm not sure if I like. Yeah, I think giving us that staircase base is enough. I'm not sure why those windows behind her are necessary, but I get it. They are trying to give her a diorama, a scene of some kind. Face is excellent, assuming this is exactly what we get in the final product. So this is actually a great looking Hina figure as long, she turns out fine. The second one here is by a brand where I can highly recommend, Alice 21 Studio. Blue Archive Arona. Basically, Blue Archive's RAM from ReZero. $260 at 1/6 scale, December release. Yeah, the good stuff always ends up in December, somehow. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. No wonder she goes for $260. And the thing with Arona is that she is super popular. Her scale figure by Golden Head had to be re-released. The value went up after release. Is it already out? I'm not sure. But yeah, she got a re-release for the genuine figure. But that genuine figure by Golden Head Plus is definitely not at this level of detail. So, love Arona? Yes? Get this one. Alice 21 Studio, can highly recommend them. They're excellent. Moving on to the next one here. Azur Lane. We have Succubus Taiho from Red Peach A Studio. $326 at 1x4, which is a great price for something this detailed, releasing in December. You see, my crappy, horrible internet connection. Pictures never load properly. See? Oh god. I just want a closer look of her face. There we go. So, I'm not sure if this is actually a skin in the game. I assume that it is, like a Halloween skin maybe. Yeah, it looks amazing for sure. 1x4 scale, this is going to be majestic. Moving on to the next one, we have L Size by Pink Lady Studio 1x4 scale, and this is an early bird pre-order. They don't have a price yet, but if you want it, you can get it with a $118 deposit. And the actual price of the figure, if you want a rough estimate, you just take that $118 and multiply it by 3. So we are looking at $360. Yeah, that is my prediction for the price of this figure over here. Could be a bit less, could be a bit more, who knows. But I would say expect her to go up to $400 because of the detail on her outfit and all those parts behind her. Her long hair as well. Yeah. L Size, guess what? Apex Toys has a scale figure of her coming. Granted, that is a 1x7, but that one looks amazing. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. This is also one of the main highlights this week in my opinion. Together with that that Ray figure earlier. Yeah. So coming from Million Studio, another brand that I can highly recommend. We have Frolova from Wuthering Waves, $230 at 1x6 scale, releasing in June 2026. This one looks fabulous. Unfortunately, I couldn't zoom in much more, but this is fabulous. I love it. Oh, alright. So this is what her face looks like, no problems. For some reason, this base is so attractive to me, like a broken mirror. Yeah, glass shattering, and it is executed so nicely over here. I wish that shattered mirror behind her is a real mirror because that would look amazing when on display. But for photography, that would be a terrible idea. That would be a nightmare because when you're taking pictures of the figure, then you'll see your own face or your own phone, your own camera in the figure behind her. Yeah, that's the problem with mirrors. And the last figure for this week would be Singer Studio 1x6 scale Alice Timefield from Xander's Zone Zero, $213 at 1.6, no release date yet. And I'm not sure if I like this one. In fact, this figure over here almost looks like a CGI render for some reason. It probably is, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a CGI render, now I'm certain. And even in CGI render form, she does not look very good, so I'm not having high expectations for this one. Get Frolova from Million Studio earlier, or get, yeah, that Azur Taiho 1x4 scale, or Ayanami Ray, or even that 1x4 scale Fern figure. So this week's third-party figure pre-order is very good. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. I guess this is a third-party week because we don't have much for the genuine figures unless you are looking for that Gunnar pillow from Brown Dust 2. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, please to subscribe to this channel. It is just one click away, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.